Reparations are highly unlikely. Black Americans would love to believe that reparations are right around the corner. But the U.S. has a history of giving reparations, just not to the one obvious group of people. In 1866, the Homestead Act, where ex-slaves were given 6 months to purchase land at reasonable rates without competition from white Southerners and Northern investors, usually, most likely, white Northern investors. But few ex-slaves were able to take advantage of this program because, ex-slaves were obviously poor. However, the law encountered many obstacles. Notably, Southern bureaucrats often did not comply with the law or with orders of the Freedmen Bureau, notably not informing blacks that their opportunity to acquire the land. So they did not even tell blacks that they could even buy the land. Nor if blacks did find out that they can buy land, they weren't going to honor the deal anyway. Ultimately, untimely, before too much land was distributed, the law was repealed in 1876, and most of the land was auctioned off at cheap prices or given as restitution for lost property, slaves. In 1934, Congress passed the Indian Reorganization Act, which authorized $2 million a year in appropriations for acquisition of land for Indian. Congress made appropriations until about 1941. So the Indians got $2 million a year to buy land throughout the United States. In total, about $5.5 million appropriated for 400 acres of land, and further legislation was added, so about 875,000 acres of reservation was released and given to Indians because we, stole it from them. 1 million acres grazed land, nearly 1 million acres intended for homesteading were returned to the Indian tribes. So the land that we stole, we just gave it back to them after they kind of, sued us for it. We just didn't hand it over nicely. And I found hundreds of other instances where the U.S. gave reparations to Native Americans throughout the years, totaling about $1 billion or so. Probably a little more than $1 billion, but that's how much I was able to kind of calculate. In 1988, Civil Liberties Act provided about $1.2 billion and an apology to each of approximately 60,000 living Japanese Americans who had been interned during the World War II. So the U.S. has no problem giving large amounts of money as form of reparation to groups of people who they deem worthy. Just sucks it's not us. The rest gets an apology, or maybe the next election, both candidates will dangle it over African Americans' head to kind of win their vote. But who knows? We'll see next election.